This is a series where I update you on anything eventful that has happened or happening on my Sorare journey. And yeah, it's been the most eventful week in my Sorare history. Now you would have seen, hopefully, first place in the most prestigious competition, the in-season Premier League Division 1 side, 445 points. I ended up winning by, 5 points. And I won $3,000, about £2,250, the most ridiculous outcome. I mean, if that wasn't big enough, you roll into this weekend and it could happen again. I have had the dream start. I've got the goalkeeper clean sheet locked in, keepers on maximum bonus at 20%. I've got the star signing Bukayo Saka, 100 captain bonus. And then the other two players, Kai Havertz gone and got a 73, Declan Rice has got a 55. Now this game, we all know, it's not about your score, it's about how you score against the rest of the competition. If everyone's got 500s, you got 450, it doesn't matter. The two big stacks, Man City, Haaland didn't score, Foden didn't get a decisive, they've lost their clean sheet. Arsenal obviously did very solid, but I've got them, but they lost their clean sheet. So would have been in pole position. I am in a fantastic space to go and do it again. The only thing which makes me less confident this week, there is a man, Corners Oars FC. He is sitting on a monster score. He must have been struggling to sleep last night. I know the feeling, mate. But he's in 5th place, 408 points, with Cole Palmer at home to Nottingham Forest. I mean, this is the sort of team that makes me happy I didn't buy Van Dijk, because obviously I've just won £2,200. So I'll talk about what I'm doing with that, who I've bought. But yeah, thankfully I didn't, because this guy probably would have beat me. But there's still a hope to beat him. I think we've got 20 points to make up. Romero versus Palmer. I know it's unlikely, but drop a comment down below. Anyone that comments, we'll do a giveaway. I'm not sure what we're giving away. Something like a Romero. We'll see how we finish, where we finish, who does well in the week. Yeah, just comment on the video. Anyone can win, except for if you're watching this and your name's Carl, and I know you because you keep leaving shite messages on my videos, and now I know it's you. You are excluded from all the giveaways. Thankfully, he hasn't won anything yet. But yeah, just looking at some of these teams around. Top place, 429. Like I said, dropping that Edison clean sheet. Didn't mention Salah. Liverpool, obviously a decent fixture away to Palace. A lot of people would have been on the Liverpool stacks, the Salah stacks, Salah captains. So many things going on there. Someone like Nepenthez, always like looking at his team. He's gone full Arsenal stack, and that's where that goal was huge. Saliba didn't pop a huge score. So it's all over to Christian Romero. Now I know, own goals, not starting, illness, injured in warm-ups, it can all happen. It's happened to me before. So I'm not going to get carried away. But even, let's say he scores 0 and say people score, we're looking at $100 to $200 worth of prizes again for a team that's already paid off. Yes, all of the money I spent on my in-season cards this year has already been paid off. It all got, the winnings outdone it. Except for when I started spending some more money. No, I'm just joking. I did buy someone, but I haven't gone crazy yet. You'll actually see in my balance, it is crucial that there is 1,150, somewhere, about, you call it £1,200. Hopefully ETH goes up and you can see that's what ready to spend. That is going into the team. What I've done with the rest of the money is actually withdraw it. I was just saying on Twitter here, this is a double win. So just before the 1st of August, the 31st July, I deposited £1,000 worth 0.38 ETH, and recently I've just withdrawn 0.61 ETH for £1,000. So I've made about 0.3 ETH, and I've come out flat level. That's absolutely perfect for someone that loves ETH as much as me. And we've got about a similar amount to invest in players. Now you'll see this second team actually has a chance this weekend as well. It's playing in Division 3, so the rewards are slightly less, but that's good because this team is slightly weaker. Obviously, Kivior not going to start for Arsenal. He had about 40% chance, which massive shout out to the Sidelines Discord here. This guy, Ferris Wheel, the Arsenal expert, he put in just before the lineup, Timber has not been called up, and he's changed the percentages. So, he put Kivior at 60%. I always read that as 40, but anyway, he thought Kivior had a chance to start, and I was asking him about yeah, but, Timber or White, surely they're coming back. Arteta wasn't very clear. He was like, look, Arteta says this all the time. Just keep it clear. Don't play those players if you have them. I was like, okay, I'll kind of trust you. I'll go with the guy that doesn't really play much. Timber and White didn't even make the squad, so that would have been a 0, which is kind of teasing because, yeah, those are the players I've bought. I bought White a little while ago, but during Timber, I bought White for £77, Timber for £75, and Timber gets injured like a couple minutes after I buy him, or like more confirmed injury. So that's life, but am I going to complain? I mean, look how my teams are doing. That is not going to be a complaint from me. Those two will compete. Maybe I should have bought Calafiori. Definitely should have bought Calafiori on reflection. But I was looking at the start of the season where, Timber was starting ahead of Calafiori at left back. Could happen again, but Calafiori's been playing well. I think ultimately I might need all three, but I feel it's wasted capital. So I'm not really sure what to do. But let's talk about how important this Spurs game is to me today. Because obviously we've got the Sorare scores. This would be huge. A clean sheet's unlikely, but we could have two teams in seriously high like points winning or cash winning prizes or box winning positions. So many good things that can happen there. And I've been getting more and more confident with these Premier League predictions. I thought there's a good chance that, the Saints score against Arsenal. Man City haven't been that very, defensively sound. So lots of the Premier League results have been seen clearly. And I was like, I'm going to return with, a big bet on 3 teams this weekend. Tottenham to beat Brighton. Brighton are missing their key defender. I've actually got a Brighton stack as well, I forgot to say. I'm playing both sides of the coins. But because I watch a lot of Brighton, because I've got the stack obviously, I know that Van Hecke, their defender, he's really good. And they're missing him today, apparently. So they're going to play probably a Stupinian, Dunk, probably Igor, and Veltman. And I'm looking at that against a team in Spurs that just smashed Man United. They both play high lines. I'd say Spurs play it better. I'm looking at that and thinking, surely Spurs win. So I've got a bet on them. I've got a bet on Villa. I did put a bet on Newcastle, but it was slightly smaller because I knew Isak wasn't there and I think they could struggle finishing. Exactly what happened. Gordon missed a penalty. Gordon missed a sitter. But ultimately, Spurs were the most confident I was in like a 50-50 coin flip result of which one I actually think will win. And now I need them to win so badly. So support them on. We need Cole Palmer to drop a stinker. It doesn't really matter because the team's paid off, but winning, it feels like a drug, man. That was such a good feeling, and then going for it again, it's just unbelievable. So let's hope we can do something with that, and let's have a quick discussion on the Leipzig stack. Actually, no, before we talk about that, I almost won midweek with the Spurs boys. Like, I don't know if I won, but I almost put up like a decent amount of cash. They were all on a clean sheet till 93rd minute. So we had loads of decisive, huge scores. So ended up finishing with nothing. But like, a clean sheet would have pushed me so far up here. Could have been on like $400. So things are going really well for me on Sorare. Again, I just feel like I'm making all the sort of right moves. If you want to watch some of the more strategy-based stuff, that's my last Sorare Journey. Go and watch that. I do think it was one of my best. Didn't get the most views or anything like that. But I just... that's where if you're trying to learn and get better at the game, that video is the one for you. This one's a bit forward looking, a bit more fun. So if we look today, how Pascal Gross has screwed me twice. Now, I had a decent score midweek, and obviously I'm a Celtic fan, and I had to watch them get battered in one of the most embarrassing performances I've seen for Celtic by Dortmund. And I've even got a Dortmund player. I've got one Dortmund player and he doesn't even get decisive. I'm like, if you're going to absolutely dick us, can you at least not get a decisive? Just like one. I would have won something there. And then he does the same again. They drop a stinker at Union Berlin and he drops like 31 points. So now this Leipzig stack doesn't actually matter too much. I mean, if they put up a score like they did last weekend, I'll be, I don't know, top 30. But interestingly, if you watched a live stream of me winning, I actually won the Heidenheim goalkeeper Kevin Müller. So this team is doing all right. Trippier put up a 55. We've got Dybala hopefully starting today. He's a bit of a risk, but I'm pretty confident he'll start. But 2 more Leipzig players. If we can get a 0-0 in the Leipzig game, we're up for another big score and a reward opening. I mean, I just can't believe it. I mean, like, I'm getting carried away now. I'm celebrating before they've even, hit or anything's happened, but I'm really enjoying Sorare again at the minute. The division structure, I know it gets a lot of heat, but it makes more sense for the game. Putting where to put your best lineups, do you drop the first team into the third division? All of that sort of strategy is what makes the game fun and what makes it interesting. Everyone just running the same stack every week and seeing who can get the highest score. It was fun, but it's not as fun as the division system. That's my opinion. Might be a hot take, but I don't really care. A couple of the other teams look alright, not really too bothered about them. And yeah, let's talk about where we can spend this money. So currently, for my in-season cards on Sorare, we have a net spend of £104, which is pretty much just Timber and Fraser Foster, who I bought in for Vicario, who actually I want to talk about here, because this is an interesting topic. You can pick up his in-season card for about £9. Compare that to Vicario, who's the first choice keeper, and I'm pretty sure Foster's second choice when I asked at the start of the season. I doubt that's changed. About £389. So if you've got a bit of time, one way that I think could be like a profitable insight into Sorare is buying the backup before any injuries happened. Because obviously what happens when they get injured is they spike in price, as we saw with Kelleher yesterday. Limited, £11 all the way up to £45. And this is before we know the extent of Alisson's injury. Same thing happened in Rare. But I was watching this and I decided actually not to go out and buy a Kelleher. I was literally watching all of the ones get bought up. I could have easily bought one for 92. And I was just like, £92 for a backup goalkeeper is very high when I've just bought Foster for £9. And what I think would be an interesting metric would be goalkeeper cost as a percentage of starting cost. Because when you lose your starting goalkeeper, it's not a like for like. Like, Kelleher's not as good as Alisson and Fraser Foster's not as good as Vicario. But it's not too far away because they've got the same defences in front of them. So in this, split second, I thought Kelleher, a little bit too expensive. But you can do the same thing with goalkeepers and buy them in bulk. So I could go buy another couple Fraser Fosters. So if Vicario does get injured, I may be in a better scenario than if he didn't get injured. Because £9 as a percentage of what did we last see? 430. It's absolutely nothing. So what I'm trying to explain is, like, if you imagine he doesn't, if Vicario's out for the season, Fraser Foster doesn't go to £430 of player. He's probably worth about £200 to £300 though. So that scenario, that return, from 9 to let's say 200, that is a ridiculous return. And say like Kelleher here went from 90 to 140, that margin is a lot smaller. So if anyone was doing it before, I'd probably say Kelleher wasn't a good selection. You have no chance of knowing who's going to get injured from your goalkeepers. But then, yeah, just think of, I'm literally just thinking of this as the top of my head now, but like Neto, now you can't do the whole classic to win season thing, but let's say you can get Neto for £45 and Reyes £1,000. Last time I checked, he was. Raya £1,050. That seems like a good metric as well, because if you're getting a starting Arsenal goalkeeper for £45, so yeah, I think that's probably something I'm going to spend my money on. Otherwise, we're looking at strengthening the squad. I'll try and show you here where they are. So if I refresh this, who's that missing? I guess it's Timber. Yes, Timber. So we've got Vicario, Romero very solid, Porro very solid, Timber good when he plays against weak opposition. White's a bit like high average, just high average. He doesn't really go boom or bust. I mean, obviously he can get a goal, but it's very ill-frequent. So I wouldn't mind strengthening with a Van Dijk or a Trent, but what puts me off is their fixtures. They've got such hard fixtures coming up where I don't think it's optimal. Oh, I did spend some other money yesterday, actually. Completely forgot about this. Only £20, but let me know what you think of this. Tina Livramento. Now, I saw Trippier go off injured, so we don't know how the extent of it, but I've actually got a Trippier card. So you could buy them all for the same prices. But, yeah, I was thinking they're about 60-40 who's going to start when fit, 60% Trippier. So with him injured, maybe he gets a couple of runs for £20 and a Newcastle team which, is dominant on the ball. You can definitely get decisive actions from their wing-backs. That seemed like a nice pickup for me. I forgot to add him to my costs, but I'll add that after. So add Livramento here as, you know, a half. I like to put them in like percentages of starting, like Basuma's only a half. But Rice, Havertz, Saka and Johnson. Johnson used to be a half, now looking like a nailed starter. If we're looking to improve this, I think you're looking at probably forward, like a backup for Saka. If Saka gets injured, I'm in a world of trouble in terms of my team. So you'd be looking at someone like Son, and I did like the price of Son, but I knew he was injured. So it's like, he's injured, you got the international break, more supply will come out, you might as well try and wait for him to dip in price. You know, he was selling for 475 to 504, and that 504 was a special edition. So I'm hoping I can pick one up for 450 or below. That would be huge for me. His age does scare me a bit. That's why start of the season I didn't pick one up. I went like, I'd prefer to have Rice. But yeah, overall, I think Son would be a great addition. I think Odegaard would be a great addition. I hate this because that stupid O makes him impossible to find. So you have to what I do is I search Arsenal and then go to Martin Odegaard here. He's dipped in price, but we don't know when he'll be back, and that scares me. So you can buy one for 312, 307, but he could be out for a lot longer than people think. It's a bit like unknown, so that's another potential. Spoke about Van Dijk, spoke about Trent, and then there's just like depth, because obviously like I've got really strong quality. Do I want some quantity to strengthen the second division? Give me choice of selection. I'm not sure. I think on Sorare generally you want quality over quantity. So this is leaning me to like, hey, how about Cole Palmer? Which would be great. He's not even that expensive for his performances. You know, £800, £900. I don't know. He just gives me bad vibes. Like he's overperforming. At like some point, he's just that good. I understand, but yeah. Alternatively, you take the long-term approach. You've got a great squad for this season, Alex. Let's look at next season. Rodri, he's injured. Used to go for 1.1. Now you can pick him up for 200 to 250. Maybe, but you're sitting on cash for a year and it's not really doing anything until he's back fit, which is a whole season away. So typically with that sort of strategy, I want to buy them like a month before they're back. Yes, you pay a little bit of a premium, say he goes from 200 to 300 or 400, but you're still making up, you know, when he's back, a substantial amount. So let me know who you think I should buy. I'm really stuck. You know, I spoke about how I've got the Heidenheim goalkeeper. So I have debated going into the Bundesliga in season. I do enjoy the Bundesliga. I've got the Leipzig stack, but I'm not as knowledgeable. You know, I don't know how good Heidenheim are. I know where they are in the league, but that doesn't really tell you much. They could have had easy fixtures. So yeah, I think the main part of this video is to say Michael van Gerwen threw 17 perfect darts. He missed the 9 darter, the back-to-back 9 darter for any of you darts fans. I'm going for the 10 perfect Sorare scores.
It's on! Double 12! Magnificent Michael van Gerwen, who raises the roof with a 9-darter! The like of which we may have never seen or ever see again. 141 is on again! It's on again! Double 12! Oh, I don't believe it!
We'll see where we finish. I'm so excited, so scared. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a subscribe if you enjoy this and you like Sorare. Besides that, all the best to you. Cheers.